Hello to all my friends out there. Hi, you guys. Okay, some of us are not exactly wealthy, so at this time it behooves us to find some cheap food we can stand that's going to give us enough nourishment to get by. So I have I had a small potato and I had one hot dog that I needed to use. So I want to make a hot dog burrito. So what I want to do is I want to start thinking, wow, how can I bought hot dogs, you guys. If you don't have hot dogs, you can use bologna. If you see flies, it's from my plant. My plants. Those are the plants I grew out of seeds. I just got some seeds. And I planted them in some dirt and they sprung up. So I want to fry these hot dogs. I cooked them first because they're going to taste much better if you cook them. Same thing if you make taquitos. You just cook a hot dog, roll it in some tortillas, and now I want to put it in my potatoes to kind of flavor my potatoes up a little bit. And believe it or not, hot dogs, you can use rice in this. You can make a burrito out of rice. That'd be tasty. Hot dogs and rice are really good, you guys. So what I want to do is just, I want to brown my hot dogs a little bit. Okay, I'm going to go over here for a minute. Okay, so we have to be very careful, extremely, right now, just for another couple weeks and see what happens. I have tea. I make it kind of weak because I'm weaning myself off Diet Coke. Okay, so this food was pretty much made. I got my celery a little too wet, but this is not the first time I've done it. So what I do is I just let it dry back out. I overwatered. Look at my little plants. They're growing good. And these were some, what I did is if my food had seeds, I planted it. I also planted some lemon seeds and I have some apple seeds. As to what I will do with those, that remains to be seen. Okay, so now another thing is if you're very, very careful with your, like your last hot dog, a small potato, a little bit of tea, a little bit of cheese. I buy this cheese at Dollar Tree for $1. So if you get hot dogs for $1 and you can find some potatoes, a bag of potatoes cheap, and be very, very careful with your potatoes. They last for a long time. Apples too. You don't really need cheese on this, but if you have some, it's good. My stuff is looking good now. That's enough. So I have a couple pieces left, couple pieces left, and I just saved those. I might need them. And then what I did, well, let me check this. What I did is, so I'm heating my burrito in a dry pan. I could use cooking spray, but this is a really fresh burrito, so I really don't need it. So see my scramble? You could eat the scramble. I tipped my pan a little to drain the grease off for a minute or two. So what I'm going to be doing is thinking about what could I make to eat that is really, really cheap, and doing videos. Sometimes, like when you don't have money and things are going very bad, honestly, you can't think straight. You just can't. You're just in a panic mode, and it's very, very hard to think straight. So this was literally made in about, what, 5 minutes? Here it is. So now this will last you until dinner. I'm not saying eat a lot. That's probably not a good idea. And what I did is I bought cans of salsa, and let me put some salsa. And I ground the salsa in the blender. I find it to taste better that way. So take a look at this. You can also do this with lunch meat. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm working off of a grocery shopping list. And on my grocery shopping list, right up here, I have potatoes. You're not going to starve out. You could use eggs instead of the hot dogs. And so I have tea. Let's see, what else do I have on here? I think I put cheese. I have tortillas. I have cheese. So this is why the shopping list was so darn vital. So if you stay to the shopping list, you don't have to buy all this stuff at once. Just buy your food and everything else little by little. If you can dash out, get a couple things here and a couple things there. I fried my food. I had some lard in the freezer, so I put it in my Crisco jar so nothing would happen to it. Okay, I have a good book I'm reading. Believe it or not, I got this for 10 cents in the library. Okay, now I want to tell you what he says because I like this. The human body needs 3 main nutritional components: carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Carbs are really converted into sugars and provide needed energy. Proteins primarily enable the body to preserve and build muscle. Despite the hysteria of recent years about the evils of fat, they are necessary. Without getting into a debate about good and bad fat, suffice it to say that fats provide essential fatty acids that the body needs to function, right down to something as basic as cell membrane production. Here's a checklist of things to keep in your emergency food pantry. Your goal is to stockpile enough food to sustain your household for 1 month or longer. Dried fruit or canned meats, canned fish, good sources of protein. Dried or canned beans for carbs and protein. Canned fruits and vegetables. Dried fruits, consider purchasing a food dehydrator to make your own. Nuts are the perfect emergency foods with proteins, fats, and some carbs, plus a long shelf life. Start adding to this list with ideas of your own. Just make sure that the foods in your pantry provide 1 or more proteins, fats, and carbs, and have a long shelf life. So I say amen to that. Okay, now I just have one more thing, and this is some dangers I see. Okay, some dangers I could see are dangers to infants. The hospitals may become very dangerous. Okay, it is possible to deliver in an ambulance. It might be safer. Most nurses, almost all EMTs and paramedics can deliver a baby. Be sure you find the free formula sources that you can as soon as you can. Water contamination. Just when you buy water or you have containers, somebody said like your soda pop containers, fill them with water and keep your bathtub clean. And at the first sign of trouble, fill your bathtub with water. Hyperinflation. Oh, okay, so water contamination. Food storage in case of a famine. Hyperinflation. Okay, they're dispensing a lot of free money, and that could cause us to go into hyperinflation. Everything would cost more. Your dollars would buy way less food. Home invasion, possible danger, and stealing of cars and other resources. And then the last thing is clothes. Before the pandemic, I was buying clothes at the thrift store for 2 years. One thing is coats and shoes, and if you do have a lot, you can hang on to them, and then you can sell them. Okay, you guys, please like, comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.